baby has mange, and it seems to be otherwise in good health, but he has mange. So unless he's treated, he will not make it. And there is nothing we can do. Because our clinics are full, we don't have fosters, no clinic wants to take dogs like this. It's very difficult. So this baby will have to stay here and hope that he is strong enough and he makes it on his own. That's why we need fosters. We need people to come up and say, look, I want to foster one of your dogs. We will be able to rescue them and we will be able to send it to them. I mean, we're not asking for anything for ourselves. We're asking for help for these animals that are living in these conditions. This is horrible. Okay, so please, look, if we had a foster, we will be able to take this dog, save him, rush him to a clinic, have him treated, and place him in a foster home. We don't have foster homes. We cannot just get them out of here. So please, 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 foster for us. Just come forward. You say, look, I have a dog. I would like to help you. Let me foster one of your dogs. And we will be able to rescue. And if you cannot foster or you cannot adopt, please donate to the Simba Fund, because that fund is what is making all these animals live. Anyway, okay, we're out of here. Beautiful animals that could be in great homes, and instead they are living in the shit. Okay.
It's an animal world out there. Watch the World Animal Awareness Society channel and feel right at home. Come, sit, subscribe, and stay a while.
Hi, this is the hardest video I've had to make so far. It's a long story. It's a painful story. And I want you to listen, because this video is going to give you some answers and some insight into the way we are, into the way I am as a person, into the way this animal rescue operates. This video is gonna help you understand why we never give up on our animals. It started 8 years ago at a landfill place where people used to dump garbage outside Istanbul in Turkey. I had gone there because I had been told that there were a number of puppies that needed some help. It was the middle of winter, it was below freezing, it was just terrible. So I found myself in this landfill. Looking around, I could see some adult dogs in the horizon, scavenging, looking for food. I could see some birds flying above the landfill, looking for something to eat. And then I looked more carefully and I saw this corner of the landfill where there were two puppies, apparently dead. I rushed to the place. I had my camera, I was filming. One of the puppies was clearly dead and frozen. The other one was dying. I didn't know what to do. I had my camera on, so I shot it. I shot these images. The puppy was half dead. It was still opening her mouth. It was just so painful. I was frozen. I mean, I wasn't used to facing situations like this. So I shot a few minutes of video of the landfill, of the location, and I grabbed the puppy. I took him in my hands. I noticed that he was still alive, and I rushed to the hospital. Before going to the hospital, I warmed up the puppy in my lap inside the car. I could see that he was recovering a little bit, so we rushed to the hospital. We arrived to the hospital. He went into intensive care. He had an anal prolapse. I mean, he was in really bad shape. Really bad shape. He was half frozen. It was just terrible. I call her Vanya. She was a female. Beautiful little thing. Vanya stayed 3 days at the hospital, fighting between life and death. Eventually she made it. I brought her home. A couple of days later, I went back to the same landfill and I found yet another puppy. He was pretty much alive. He was in good shape, but he wasn't going to be making it as well. I could see that in a matter of days, this puppy will be dead. I will never forget the place where I found him. He was standing there, proud, whimpering, so cold, but he was still there, alive. I took him with me. I called him Huckleberry, took him home, introduced him to Vanya. They became brother and sister. My friend Jansu and I raised them, gave them love, gave them a happy childhood, together with a family of cats. I remember in those days, it was the beginning of this channel. I used to post videos of them playing at home, so relaxed, so happy, surrounded by kitties, ourselves. Those were beautiful images. Those were happy days. But there were 2 puppies, and we were rescuers, and we needed to find them homes. You see, when you're a rescuer, you cannot start piling up and accumulating dogs at home. Otherwise, you end up with 11 dogs, which I have right now. So we looked for a good home for them. We played some videos. People said, "Wow, they're so beautiful." And then there was this family that wrote a beautiful letter. They were a family from Canada. Stephanie McMullen was her name. Stephanie McMullen. I'm giving her full name here. You will understand why later. I basically have her permission to do that. Stephanie McMullen. And her husband. They had 2 children. They had another cat, 2 cats. They've had animals all their life. And they seemed to us like a really nice option for Vanya and Huckleberry. They wrote a nice letter. We agreed. So we sent Vanya and Huckleberry from Turkey all the way to Canada. I remember the day they left, it was so sad. So they arrived to Canada. They sent us a picture of Vanya and Huckleberry in the park and then by the beach, and everything seemed okay. And then about 10 days later, they erased us from their friends list. They stopped talking to us. What's happening? What's happening? Have you seen what Stephanie has done? She erased us from her. They completely cut contact. So we were in a panicky mode. We wrote to them, what happened? What happened? There was no reply. What has happened? A few days later, we were told that that couple had dumped one of our dogs, Vanya, the female, had dumped her at a boarding facility, at a training facility. They told them that this dog was aggressive. Imagine, this is a 3-month-old puppy, okay, 3.5-month-old puppy. They told them that the dog was aggressive and that they could do whatever they want with the dog. Wow, we were so upset. We were in such shock. How could this family do this? We immediately contacted the training facility. We told them that we will go there to get Vanya back to us. And think about it. At that time, I'm in Istanbul. Vanya is in Canada, and she has been dumped at a training facility over there, abandoned there. So, really, this is a shocking experience. So we organized for my then friend Rafael and Jill and her husband Bill to Canada to pick up Vanya. So they drove from the States to Canada, got Vanya, and brought her back to safety. Obviously, once we got Vanya, we knew there would be more trouble ahead for the other puppy, for Huckleberry. So we contacted the family and immediately demanded their return. We wanted our dog back. A family that is capable of dumping a 4-month-old, 5-month-old puppy onto a training facility, dump one puppy, keep the other one. These people were not to be trusted. So we demanded the return of the dog. They didn't want to do it. Then those people started talking to some haters, that I will give their names later, and they basically disappeared. We didn't know what was happening. We started legal action. We hired a lawyer in Canada and we demanded the return of the dog. And then the painful truth. The family said that they dumped the dog at a shelter to be killed, to have the dog euthanized, because that little puppy was also aggressive. We couldn't believe it. I was in such shock. So we started a nationwide search in Canada and in the US for our dog. We looked at Pet Finder, we looked at every animal rescue organization. We just couldn't believe how this family could have killed a healthy puppy. And then, bam! We found an identical dog. We found our dog in a shelter in Georgia, the other side of the States. How could you do that? I mean, why did they send this dog to Georgia? It's not possible. But look at the pictures. That dog is identical to Huckleberry. That's Huckleberry. Why would they tell us they killed him? So we couldn't believe why this family would have the puppy killed. And so we found this puppy in Georgia. So we organized to go get that puppy. We had the feeling this was Huckleberry. For whatever reason, this family, instead of giving the puppy to us, they told us they killed him, but they sent him to Georgia. And so we went. My friend Kathy went to Georgia to find that puppy and adopt him. When she got there, she said, look, this could be Huckleberry. It looks exactly like him, but there is a problem. This puppy is not microchipped. But our puppy was microchipped. Could be that there is a mistake, that they cannot find the chip, that they cannot find the reading. I don't know. And I say, okay, well, look, just get the puppy out of that shelter. Let's get him home, and then we will see later. And so Kathy took Huckleberry to her house. Fine. So we had the two little puppies. We had Vanya staying in Boston, Huckleberry staying in Savannah, in Virginia by then. And so I went to the States. I went to the States to get my two puppies back. But then we were told and we were confirmed that Huckleberry had been killed at a shelter in Toronto. It was confirmed that that family had the dog euthanized. We started legal action. We wanted retribution. We wanted an explanation. Why would someone do something like that to a harmless and helpless puppy? People have a way to react to legal action. They get scared and then they have to get lawyers themselves, and getting a lawyer is extremely expensive in some places. So that family didn't want to fight. Instead, they confessed. They confessed what they did. They wanted to settle. There was no amount of money that was going to get our dog back. There was no possible retribution for the pain that we experienced, for the way Huckleberry died. And so we asked for a statement. That was the only thing we could get from that. We wanted a statement with the truth. Something that one day we could read in public so that people will know. And so we have held to this statement for the last 8 years. And today I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you because it explains what we went through, because it closes the circle, it gives justice to the life of Huckleberry, the puppy that died. And it also will help you understand why when a family stops contact with us, when a family starts lying and starts giving us stupid excuses and things like what Alba has done with Apollo, we panic and we pursue this matter to the end. So right now I'm going to read you the public apology and retraction of false statements made by Stephanie McMullen. I'm going to read it to you. My English is not so great, but listen. Listen, because it gives you an insight into the mind of some very cowardly people and the people that help them. So it says, Dear Ivan, Jansu Osman, Recién Fernandez, and Let's Adopt Global, I wish to apologize for the pain, suffering, and harm that I have caused you all through my lies and deceit through my failed adoption of Vanya and Huckleberry, the two puppies you miraculously rescued from death's door in Turkey. Mostly, I wish to apologize, even if it is humanly possible, to Huckleberry for the horrendous thing that I did to him. This is written by Stephanie McMullen. Okay. He's dead now because of my unspeakable actions, spite, and want for revenge. He was the sweetest, kindest, and most loving dog there ever was, and I cannot bring him back. I did the cruelest thing possible to Huckleberry and to you. Nothing I can do will ever make this right, but I can at least tell the truth to help you heal from this injustice and clear Huckleberry's memory. Everything you and Let's Adopt stated and published during this tragic episode was the truth. Everything. All the statements I made in retaliation were false. My lying turned supporters against you and defamed your good organization. My lying prevented Huckleberry from being safely returned to you. After all, that's all you wanted. If I had done that, he'd be alive and happy now. For that, I'm deeply and painfully sorry. I will now tell the truth as it happened. It is time for me to tell the truth. I want you to share this apology with the world, which I'm doing right now, 8 years later, so that the damage I caused and pain you've suffered can begin to be reversed and you can all start the first steps to healing, and someday, perhaps, I will be forgiven. Think about this. So, Stephanie McMullen, the truth. I approached Let's Adopt Global and Ivan Jimenez to adopt Vanya and Huckleberry in the early part of 2012. I sent photos of my children to convince Let's Adopt that my family was the right home. Those photos were given to Let's Adopt to use as they wish. Let's Adopt Global expressed their full support during the adoption, and they made clear that if it did not work out, that the puppies could be returned to them at their cost. Once the two puppies were delivered at no cost to me from Turkey, I began feeling overwhelmed. I knew it was a mistake. Let's Adopt representatives, particularly Jansu Osman and Ivan Jimenez, myself, work with me and offer everything from training support and advice to financial support from my family, because at the same time I was having marital issues. We did help Stephanie with her own personal life. I fabricated stories of the puppies showing aggression as a pretext for my failing. It seemed Let's Adopt genuinely wanted to help in any way possible, but I did not accept their help, and instead I chose to work with others who shared the suspicions and distrust of Let's Adopt with me. Michelle Brew of Mississauga, Tania Fusco of Peterborough, Dee Waters of Toronto, and Gordon Macy of Toronto and others became my support and not Let's Adopt, a mistake I will regret for the rest of my life. My new support structure provided advice that was contradictory to all the advice Let's Adopt had given, and by April 2012, despite Let's Adopt offers of help and clear understanding that the puppies should have been returned to them, I surrendered Vanya to a training boarding facility to do with her whatever they wished. In May 2012, I cut off all communication with Let's Adopt without any explanation, despite their desperate pleas to help me. In July of 2012, I joined a secret Facebook group that Tanya Fusco administered, called Let's Adopt Global Beware. The purpose of the group was to destroy Let's Adopt by any means necessary. I was welcome. Members of the group included Tanya Fusco, Gordon Macy, Michelle Brew, Claire Toltree, Rakesh Kula, Amit Kapoor, Angelica Bracher-Bess, Candy Renee, Carol Villarella, Dee Waters, Darlene Demren, Michelle Shaw, and Crystal Donovan. At the end of July 2012, I was notified that a legal claim by Let's Adopt to get Huckleberry back to them was filed against me in Ontario. Tanya Fusco wrote Let's Adopt Global Counsel in my defense. In July of 2012, armed with contempt and hatred for Let's Adopt and the reckless advice from some of those in the Beware group, I surrendered Huckleberry to the London Humane Society to be destroyed under the pretext that he was dangerous. I wanted to hurt Let's Adopt and ensure they never got Huckleberry back. I repeat, armed with contempt and hatred and advice by those people in the hate group, I surrendered Huckleberry to the London Humane Society to be destroyed under the pretext that he was dangerous. I wanted to hurt Let's Adopt and ensure they never got Huckleberry back. Huckleberry is now dead. Sweet, innocent Huckleberry. He was not dangerous, but he was a gentle, kind soul, incapable of hurting anything. Let's Adopt wanted their dogs returned to them. Maybe they knew how it would end. Instead of abiding by their agreement and returning the dogs safely, I chose to hurt Let's Adopt by doing the worst thing possible. I apologize to Let's Adopt for my callousness and indifference that caused this tragedy. I apologize for the great distress I caused them when they searched for Vanya, not knowing if she was alive or dead. And I apologize for the great heartache they must carry with them that after discovering I purposely had Huckleberry destroyed. I had no reason to do what I did. Please forgive me. Sincerely, Stephanie McMullen. These were papers handed over to the court as a settlement, full and final release by the court. I have waited 8 years to make this video. Instead of focusing on sadness and sorrow, I gave everything to this rescue group. I focused on life. I focused on continuing saving animals. I left all those haters behind. I knew they were there. They've always been there. Their small sorrow lives, always lurking, hoping for something for the moment to hurt. Those are small hatred people. These are insignificant people. Tanya Fusco, Gordon Macy. Some of them are even dead. And I hope in their last days, they remember what happened to Huckleberry and to what happened to all those other animals that their actions destroyed. 8 years waiting to make this video. So what happened to Vanya and Huckleberry? What happened to Huckleberry too? Because as it turned out, that little dog that we rescued in Georgia wasn't the original Huckleberry. So I went to the States. I got Vanya and I got Huckleberry too. Put them together. They met each other. It was a crazy thing at my friend's house in Toronto, in Boston. And I flew them with me back to Spain. They came back with me. They should have never left. Vanya and Huckleberry. They are now, both of them are 8 years old. They've been with me ever since. They have great lives. And you know what? I'm just gonna show them to you how they look right now. Just come with me. Vanya, Huckleberry, ven aquí, va, venid aquí, ¿qué tal? Esta es Vanya, so this is Vanya. Venga. Se vuelven locos con Sergio. So this is Huckleberry. Look, this is Huckleberry too. He's a goofball. He's a goofball. Goofball. Exactly like Huckleberry was. So good. Such a beautiful doggy. Ay! Ivania. So they are now 8 years old. They are growing. They are now becoming older. But they're still like puppies. Eh? Okay. They're so nice. They've been the kindest dogs. Vanya, Vanya. Huckleberry. And this is Huckleberry too. All-American dog, rescued from Georgia. Eh? This is the story of Vanya and Huckleberry, the full story. And they are so wonderful. So now you know a little bit more about us. Now you know what we are capable of doing for our animals. Thank you very much for your help. Thanks for helping me save all these dogs and cats and for making these stories possible. Thank you. This is Turkey. This baby is still alive, but there's nothing we can do for them. We'll take him to the clinic and it's too late. He will not even make it there. Hi. If you normally watch our videos, you're probably quite happy, surprised, amazed at some of the things that we've done over the years, some of the work we do. We rescue animals in extreme conditions, and we do it involving the people in this community. Now, it all started 17, 18 years ago. My God, time flies. I honestly don't know the exact date anymore. I was a one-man band in a foreign country rescuing animals. And what started like a clearly small operation spread. The idea moved to other countries. I started getting support from European countries, from Europe, and little by little we built an amazing organization. An organization that has focused exclusively on rescuing extreme cases. Animals that had no hope. Animals whose rescue was out of reach for everyone else. Organizations that simply wouldn't do it because they couldn't, or simply because they thought it was not their objective. But the fact is that we have spent the last 16, 17 years running around saving lives. Now, all of this has been an amazing ride. I tell you, I honestly, when I find people in the streets everywhere in the world that recognize our work, it just fills me with pride. And these are the most special moments every time. But this wide reach and this impossible mission has come at a cost. Over the past few years, 2 years, 3 years actually, since pandemic began, we've been forced to radically change the way we work. We've had problems sending animals to their homes. We've been forced to rehome in a different way. We've had problems with the way we fundraise. But day after day, we're here. We continue moving ahead. We continue growing. We continue saving lives. Now, today I'm here because I'm very worried. What is going on right now in the world is something that we have never seen before. Well, like COVID, we never saw anything like this. Well, today we have a war that is impacting all economies in the world, and we are all suffering. Now, I'm not saying this lightly. I know you're going through the same pain and hardship as we do. But today, in this video, I need to make an appeal, a personal appeal to you that are watching us. Maybe you're a donor and you've been donating for a while, you're happy with our work, you're committed to what we do. If that's the case, I really thank you. But if that's the case, I also need to ask you today to please continue helping us. I know situation is difficult, I know, but believe me, the responsibility I have over my shoulders is crushing. And I'm saying this very seriously. So today, we need your help. If you're a donor, I thank you, and I would like to invite you to continue donating and maybe to increase your donation if you can. But if you're new, if you're watching this for the first time, or if you've watched some of our videos and you're surprised and happy with what we do, I would like to invite you to please step up today, because we need you. Last month was one of the worst months in the history of this organization, donation-wise. Our donations dropped nearly 30% in 1 month. That means that we are struggling to meet our commitments. That means that the Clinic of Isidore is struggling to receive payments. That means that the service that is given to our animals, well, so far the animals have not suffered anything, but I know in time they probably will. But this is why I'm here today, doing what I always do, which is reaching out to you, our friends, our community. The vast majority of you, I don't know, and I will probably never meet, but all of you, by watching our videos, are connected through me in a very intimate way. I am aging in front of your eyes. When I looked at our first videos, I was just a kid full of hope and big dreams, and a lot of problems. Today, 18 years later, I'm not so young, and I still have these big dreams, but the problems are bigger. Today, my shoulders are crushing under the weight of responsibility. Today, I need to ask you to please donate, continue supporting us. If you're a donor, continue supporting us, increase your pledge, please. And if you're new to this channel, today more than ever, I need your help. We all have massive commitments, we all have, I know, but please, this is important, because there are lives at stake. Lives that you know, lives like Dickens, Nancy, Jordan, India. And every single animal we rescue, Electra, which is currently receiving medical care, Lola, which is currently receiving medical care, Dylan, which are currently receiving medical care, and all the animals we have at our rescue centers. Today I need to ask for your help. It's a heartfelt ask. Please donate. Help me continue saving lives. Just click on the button, donate. We need you on board. Without you, it's over. And this is a beautiful dream. It doesn't deserve to disappear just like that. Please donate today. Thank you.
It's an animal world out there. Watch the World Animal Awareness Society channel and feel right at home. Come, sit, subscribe, and stay a while.